Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So today was a very chaotic day. But you know what? Bitcoin did not care. Bitcoin rebounds against all the market chaos that we saw today, but there's going to be more chaos. There's more tariff stuff that's coming. But the futures market showed that tomorrow's going to be green. So will that continue? Let's talk about it, and let's talk about everything else that's happening right now. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Welcome. We are starting out tonight. I haven't done a night stream for a while. There's not a whole lot to talk about normally at night these days, but I did think today was relevant because we got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, man, every single day there seems to be more and more developments going on. And I mean, look at Bitcoin. We're right back to $80,000, right? Just a day ago, 2 days ago, we were at 83,000. Yes, we did drop to 70s, but now look at that. We're back to 80,000. Bitcoin is strong. You can't hold Bitcoin back. Okay, there are way too many believers, way too many people that are loading up on cheap Bitcoin. And even the CEO of the biggest asset manager on the planet is saying this is a good opportunity to load up. Okay, and you don't hear that from this person very often. I'll get to that in a little bit. But let's get to what's going on. The futures market for tomorrow is looking green. We haven't seen this in a long time. And this is surprising. And today, look at it. Today, we actually ended up not so bad. But tomorrow is looking green. We'll see if it holds. It's really surprising because of some of the tariff stuff that has just come out. And by the way, today was extra volatile because this morning we went from very red to green to red and then about even, and it was due to just some false tweets. We had one that said, hey, Trump was considering a 90-day pause on tariffs, and then it turned out that wasn't true, and then all of a sudden the markets crashed again, right? Like, we got to be very careful about these tweets now. It seems like whenever we have seen that with crypto before, but today was like the entire market. So we had that happen this morning too. But overall, I think people are just getting antsy. People want to see a turnaround. People are getting sick of the selling. And we do have some good news. Scott Benson did say that we have now 70 countries that want to negotiate all these tariffs, wants to negotiate with the United States, okay? Mostly to drop the tariffs. But you know what? That may not be good enough. The EU proposed dropping the tariffs 0 for 0, and Trump rejected it. So, it goes more beyond just like evening out the tariffs, right? It's really about evening out the trade, the deficit between countries. So getting rid of the tariffs is step number one. Balancing out the trade is number two, and that's much harder to do, right? But it does seem like there's 70 countries that are willing to negotiate or bending the knee, so to speak. But you know who's not bending the knee right now is China. Trump did not like how China said they were going to retaliate against the additional tariffs placed on China, which is at 54%. Trump threatened to put an additional 50% on China. And then China's like, okay, if you're going to do that, we're going to then put more tariffs on U.S. goods. So now the U.S. is going to increase the tariffs to like 84% or something like that come April 9th. So there will be a trade war between U.S. and China. Most likely, U.S. will win this trade war, tariff war, but there will be casualties on both sides. You have American companies, a lot of big ones, that get all of their manufacturing done in China. And we're talking about some big ones, like Apple, for example. They are struggling right now. Supposedly iPhones are going to be extremely expensive going forward. They are one. Nike comes to mind as another, but like everything else, everything you find in Costco, Walmart, Target, everything is produced in China. So it's not just Chinese companies, it's American companies that will be suffering this. So not every country is going to bend the knee. And even EU, they tried to negotiate and Trump rejected it. So now they're retaliating. So, there's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of ongoing stuff happening. Okay. However, we see Bitcoin is still going up. However, despite all this, despite all the chaos, despite all the selling, Larry Fink says it's a buying opportunity. He says the market could tank another 20%. That's not what any of us wants to see. But it makes a lot of sense if we want the rates to go down and if we're not going to get saved by Big Daddy Fed Chair Powell until May. That's a long time. We got another month of red. Okay, so the markets could certainly go down another 20%. However, we will recover. We will recover. And that is why those that understand, those that have the ability, and those that believe are loading up. Right? Especially when it comes to Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin seems like it's never down and out. It may be down temporarily and then it just comes right back up. And it does seem like it's finding its footing. Like I said, low 80s is that sweet spot. And if we could climb right back up to that 82,000, that would be absolutely fantastic with all the chaos that's happening. And here's the thing. Bitcoin is coupled right now with tech, with the Mag 7, because of the Wall Street traders. That's really the only reason. Because Bitcoin is seen as like a tech, almost like a tech stock to many on Wall Street. We know it's not. It's a digital asset. It's a commodity. It's the best hedge and store of value that there is. But many are still selling it off because of panic and FUD and all that stuff. But because of the security factor and because there are so many that understand what Bitcoin is about, Bitcoin is gaining strength. This is one Bitcoin versus how many shares of MAG that you can buy. And this goes back all the way to May of 2024. And you could see right now, going back a full year, we are at all-time high. That means Bitcoin has held much better now versus all the Mag 7 stocks put together. And these are the biggest tech companies on the planet. That includes Google, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. Okay. So, bottom line is Bitcoin is better. And more people are starting to recognize that. So this is absolutely fantastic. And when you get a big endorsement from Larry Fink of BlackRock, that tells you something. It tells you something, right? And as time goes on, as Bitcoin gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, we will see more of that decoupling. Right now, again, Bitcoin is not tariffed. Bitcoin has no tariff. There's no tariff because it's not controlled by any country. It doesn't belong to any country. But right now there's that coupling because there are traders that believe that it should be traded like any tech stock, but it shouldn't be. But as more and more people understand Bitcoin and buy and hodl it, the more it'll decouple away from the volatility of tech stocks and stocks in general, right? And we see that every cycle. This cycle, Bitcoin is doing far better than previous cycles during bad times, right? We have seen Bitcoin do much, much worse during previous scary times, right? Just go back to 2020, March of 2020, during the COVID crash. Where was Bitcoin then? Bitcoin fell to $4,000. Where are we? 80,000. 80,000 versus 4,000. Big difference. That was only 5 years ago. So yeah, there's a big difference between now and before, right? So every cycle and every year going forward, we will see Bitcoin decouple more and more and more away. That's really it. You just have to be more patient. Metaplanet goes all in. They cleared out all their debt. They're putting all their money into Bitcoin, and this is staggering. They now hold 4,206 Bitcoin, approximately 320 million. This is insane considering that they started like a year ago purchasing like $2, $3, $5 million of Bitcoin. And now they have $1/3 billion worth of Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin gets back above $100,000, they will have close to $500 million of Bitcoin. And they plan on adding and loading up to 21,000 Bitcoin in the next year. They are going all out, just like MicroStrategy. So they obviously now believe in the power of Bitcoin, and so many others do as well. If you're looking at this, the whales continue to load up. Anyway, it's not just the whales. Anyone that's holding from less than 1 Bitcoin to 10 to 101, 10,000, right? And especially the ones above 10,000 are loading up like crazy. Everyone is loading up, and basically, okay, what we're going through is temporary. Okay, once we get past it, and it could be as soon as May, when we get that Fed cut and the easing starts and the liquidity starts flowing again, we will start rising up, and we will continue this bull run. And it'll seem like nothing has changed. Okay, we will continue forward. The bull run is still in play. This is just temporary. Okay. And if it's not in May, it's going to be June. However, the percentage for that rate cut in May is increasing, seems like every single day. It's getting higher and higher and higher. So it seems like it's more and more likely that it'll come sooner than later. So looking good. And speaking of May, we do have a lot of stuff happening in May. Okay. We have the Bitcoin conference that's happening in May. We have Token 2049, which is a big conference also happening in May. So we got two big events happening in May. We also have a Solana event, the Accelerate. that's happening in May. We got a lot of huge things happening in May. What else is happening in May? Ripple. I don't know if this is happening in May, but Ripple shared some video that has the Cardano logo in there. So there's some kind of Ripple and Cardano partnerships, brewing. And who knows? Maybe that's coming in May, or maybe that's coming this month. Who knows? Who knows? And Charles says that Bitcoin is coming to Cardano in May during the Bitcoin 2025 conference. So that has been confirmed. So a lot of things coming in May. Okay, if we get that rate cut in May during the FOMC meeting, plus you have the Bitcoin conference, and then you have all these other bullish conferences happening in May. May could be the start of the bull run, and we could have a fantastic move and recovery in May. I'm looking forward to it. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's do a quick Q&A. Chester, you correctly predicted ETH would underperform this bull run. What are your thoughts on ETH now? Well, it hasn't changed. It's still underperforming. But it's not just ETH. I mean, Sol's underperforming right now too. A lot of alts are underperforming, but I don't think anything's going to change with ETH. A lot of people, I'm seeing the comments, a lot of people saying, well, conferences don't mean anything. Seeing how bullish Trump is on Bitcoin and crypto, I think he's going to be at the Bitcoin conference again. It's rumored that he's already confirmed that he's going. And, even if he's not going, I think Senator Loomis is going to go, David Sachs is going to go, and you may see like Lutnick or Benson go, and they may be announcing something. I think the Bitcoin conference is going to be different this year versus last year. I think something is going to be announced. They're going to make a big splash. So we'll see. Let's see. I missed something. Steven says, my wife watches your Spanish channel. Says, my Spanish is excellent. That's awesome. That's awesome. Costa, do you really think ADA will be the DeFi layer for Bitcoin? I never said that, and I don't think anyone has ever said that, so I don't know where you pulled that from. And BlackRock holds 1.8 billion in ETH. Don't you think they know something we don't? It's not them specifically. It's people that are holding BlackRock ETFs. Gretchen. So keep that in mind. And Bitcoin ETFs or ETH ETFs has not behaved the same as Bitcoin ETFs. It hasn't helped ETH at all. The market has just changed. There's too much competitors for ETH at this point, so they're not going to get nearly as strong as before. Will they recover? Can they recover back to their previous high? Yes. Are they going to be the dominant smart contracts chain like they were before? No. Why TikTokers still show ETH Classic? I don't know. I never even see any crypto videos on TikTok, so I don't know where you're getting that from. I never see that. Hey, this didn't even update. There we go. It's a good, you can see, this is a good V-shaped recovery right there. Good V-shape right back. We just get back to 83K by tomorrow. That would be awesome. Ricky, how were you able to predict Bitcoin pump to 80? I didn't really predict it. Yeah, I didn't say specifically it's going to go back to 80, but over the last, like last week, it was pretty obvious that Bitcoin held very strong around the low 80s, despite market sell-off. But over the weekend on Sunday and yesterday, or today, I should say, there was just too much panic. Way too many people panic dumping in Asia and Europe and even the US. But you know what? The long-term believers, the long-term holders, they are just loading up. Bitcoin's not going to go away anywhere. It's not going to go away. And that's why we're recovering. It's really that simple. Like I didn't even really think about it, but I said it while I was still going over things. You look at the last time we had a recession, that was during COVID. Bitcoin fell to $4,000, below 4,000. It fell to 3,800. ETH fell to $80. So just put that into perspective. Think about how strong Bitcoin is now versus 2020. $3,800, round up to 4,000 versus $80,000. So despite all the panic, despite all the chaos and all the depression and everything that's going on, just think about $4,000 Bitcoin. And that's what I had to go through, and that's what a lot of people had to go through. What are your thoughts on oil going below $60 a barrel? Well, oil going down is always a good thing. You never want to see oil go above like 100. That's bad. So the lower oil goes, the better it is. All this retaliation tariffs is not good. Rates are still not going low enough. Markets like coming back is, it's good for us in the market, but it's bad for the longer goal of trying to drop rates. So I don't know how long this is gonna last. But the futures market tomorrow is looking pretty darn bright. What is Asia right now? Oh, Asia is recovering pretty well. Japan is up 7%. That's because yesterday they were down like 9%. Hong Kong was down like 13%. They're up 2%. So Asia is recovering a little bit. We'll see if Europe, you can see Europe was down like 4%. We'll see if Europe recovers. If they recover, then US tomorrow could have a big day. But again, could be short-lived. DDT, appreciate that. I bought MSTR for 260 today. Feels like a good buy. MSTR 260. Oof. Well, tomorrow MSTR is probably going to go up. 260 is right. 268. Aftermarket 273. Yeah. It's back to like November levels. This is a pretty good pickup. V-shaped recovery. If we see this, boom. If we see this back tomorrow morning, we get back to 83. And in the U.S. markets, let's say tomorrow is a good bounce day. We have a really good green day. And we get a little bit more. Maybe we even push a little higher. Actually, if you look at this on the second we actually pushed to like 88, 87, 88. Maybe tomorrow we're going to have a really good day. We are definitely oversold. That's for sure. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. So we'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow is going to be very different than today. Today we opened at minus 1,500. Tomorrow we could be opening at plus 1,500. So it'll be a different vibe tomorrow. So tune in, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Enjoy your night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.